Side quests are so profoundly common in Dungeons & Dragons that they have a way of almost becoming the whole game. Side quests are any quest that deviates from the main plot of the campaign. Some are small fetch quests, others are giant, multi-part stories all on their own. When you're a DM, side quests will often end up taking up nearly as much of your planning time as the main story itself. A side quest offers you and your players a chance to take a break, try stuff out, and recharge a bit before dropping back into serious plots. Today we'll explore what side quests are, how to use them, and how to create some with a bit more depth. Side quests are simply any session that is optional to the players. In D&D, side quests make up a great deal of player-chosen paths, as opposed to the semi-railroaded main plot. While they can easily be large, overarching stories themselves, side quests often share a few main traits. A typical side quest might be short, typically one-session missions, completely optional, doesn't affect the main storyline, is generally not high risk or lethal, and will provide players long-term benefits like XP, gold, or magic items. Even with these prototypical features for a side quest, you can see there's still only a loose framework in place, just like making a regular story-driven quest. The only major difference is its scope and involvement in the overarching story. With this in mind, remember that these are simply ways to think about sections of your game, and this naming and categorization of quests only serves to help you think about how to use them in your campaign. Broadly speaking, there are only so many types of quests. Our definitions are based loosely around established terminology borrowed from the gaming industry as a whole, but they work for this just the same. We've identified 7 basic types of quests, which are fetch quests. The players must obtain some sort of item, material, or individual. Kill quests. The players must go kill something. Escort quests. The players take an NPC somewhere while keeping them safe. Delivery quests. The players deliver a non-NPC object somewhere safe. Push the button quests. The players go do something, like activate a magical stone or complete a ritual. Mystery quests. The players solve a problem through communication and gathering clues. Lore quests. Some part of the story or world is explained through a journey or series of events. These 7 quests are not unique to side quests. They are the 7 types of quests that exist in all Dungeons & Dragons. While there are other types of quests that occur, and we hope to see you give us some examples in the comments, they are almost exclusively a hybrid of one of these 7. Within these 7 quests, you can do almost anything. Once you're aware of the 7 types of quests, it makes creating a quest so much simpler. Instead of scratching your head wondering what your players will do, roll a die, choose a quest type, and apply it to their current surroundings. While the details of a side quest are a bit more complicated than that, knowing your basic quest types can frame out how to develop a side quest session for your players. So why should you even have side quests in your games? Well, side quests can be used for a few specific purposes in most D&D games. The most important thing that side quests do is provide the players with choice and some level of autonomy. A good DM sets up a sandbox world for their players to play in, and this means having options for players. It could be a lost dungeon nearby, a gang of bandits blocking the road, or some missing livestock. All of these options give the players something to choose to do and make the world look much larger than it actually is. In many cases, side quests won't actually get used due to their optional nature, and the players could simply miss or ignore them. But when the players do take on side quests, they also offer the players a chance to level up before going back to the main story, give the DM time to prepare for main quest items, and further develop the world you're creating. It is possible to run a game without side quests. These are typically games that are more dire and keep the players on a narrow track. While it would be possible for any game to be run this way, it's worth noting that it's more difficult to do. A game without side quests is always on the main plot and can advance through story at an alarming rate. Furthermore, the DM needs to be prepared for each session on the main plot and also needs to keep players within the bounds of the game. The difficulty is that players will tend to walk into side quests of their own making if you don't provide hooks for them, and this can leave you underprepared. Some good role-playing and a bit of improv can handle this situation, but it can be really challenging. Building a side quest is much like building any quest, plot, or campaign. The biggest difference in side quests are their scope. Typically, a good side quest can be summed up in a sentence that encapsulates the core premise. There is no real definition here for how long a side quest is, but they are typically 1 to 2 session events. When crafting a side quest, start by choosing a quest type or two and then assessing the area your players are in or will be in. If they're in a town, side quests easily pop up with villagers that need help. Fend off monsters, gather supplies, escort a caravan, all really basic stuff that makes classic and reliable missions for your players. If your party is traveling, side quests are more environmental. A player comes down with an illness, or they run into a mysterious creature. Really, the possibilities are endless. So what makes any of these good? What makes for a good quest is the same as what makes for a good session of D&D. For side quests, it's of particular importance that you spend more of your time on things like NPC interactions and location descriptions. NPCs will sell the quest, engage the players, and make the experience fit more neatly into a session. Your settings are what make the quest memorable and enjoyable. A typical side quest is a lower level threat than your main story, and that's mostly because it's disappointing dying while gathering flowers for a village versus fighting unspeakable evil. Because of this, the encounters might be smaller, and the real value comes in the set dressing, exploration, and conversational aspects of your side quest. Remember that players like to be rewarded for their effort. Side quests should be rewarding, but more than that, they need to keep your players' attention. A bad side quest is flat and straight to the point. If you have your players do something, give it some life. Don't just throw some bandits at them. Give your bandits a reason to be there. If you don't add some dialogue or interesting supporting elements to side quests, they'll end up feeling like manual labor. When planning encounters for side quests, you should keep them small. As a general rule of thumb, you should take the challenge rating down a half step or two when putting them together. This will make them fit more neatly into the session and also allow you to move the pacing forward more quickly. Another thing worth doing is keeping the number of enemies smaller. Creature count is the #1 time sink in encounters, and if you expect your team to wrap things up in a single session, you have to enable them to do so. If your side quest is going to be a longer one, it's still worth trying to build up the roleplay elements of the quest, rather than throwing everything into big grand encounters that would feel more in place in the main story arc. Let your players take in your world with a break from the main quest. Have them immerse themselves in everything your world has to offer, with chances to explore and meet new NPCs. If you're interested in more encounter ideas, check out our other videos. You can find more resources at masterthedungeon.com. If you liked this video, channel your inner barbarian and smash that bell, and support us on Patreon. Happy DMing!